Hey everyone. I never thought I'd be posting here, but here I am, just another guy who called a plumber and ended up needing a divorce attorney instead. So, for context, I, 34M, have been married to my wife, let's call her Tina, 31F, for 6 years. We weren't perfect, but we had a solid thing going, or so I thought. We laughed a lot, we had decent communication, again, so I thought, and we even started looking into fertility treatments after trying for a baby for over a year. You don't do that with someone unless you're committed, right? Anyway, about 2 months ago, I noticed the kitchen sink had this tiny, persistent leak. It wasn't anything urgent at first, just a little drip that I kept meaning to fix but didn't. You know how life gets. So finally, after Tina brought it up for the third time, in her very dramatic "how are we living in a swamp" tone, I caved and called a plumber. Found a local guy online with good reviews, booked the appointment for a Tuesday afternoon while I was supposed to be at work. He showed up at 2 p.m. Tina was working from home, so she'd be there to let him in. She even texted me that he arrived on time and that he was super friendly and knew what he was doing. I didn't think much of it at the time. But here's where things start to get weird. That same night, she was unusually chipper. Like, glowing. I asked how the plumbing went, and she practically sang, "Oh, it was great. He fixed the leak and even tightened some stuff under the sink that wasn't on the ticket. Super helpful guy." I jokingly said, "What, you guys become best friends?" and she giggled like a teenager. "No, don't be silly." Then she changed the subject. Now Tina's always been a bit naive. Like, she believes every Facebook ad is a real opportunity and once almost fell for an email scam promising a free trip to Bora Bora if she clicked a sketchy link. But she's not a bad person. Just, kind of gullible. And very easily flattered. That's always made me a little nervous. Still, I brushed it off. Because who cheats with a plumber after one visit, right? Right? So, like I mentioned, the plumber came on a Tuesday afternoon. That was 2 months ago. I didn't think anything of it, but something shifted after that day. Tina got bubbly. I don't mean happy. I mean fake happy. Laughing too hard at dumb things, asking me way more often how my day was, and suddenly wearing perfume to work from home. I chalked it up to her trying to spice things up or maybe just feeling better in general. Still, something felt off. The energy was weird. Then came the second visit. The leak came back, she said. Now, I know my way around a toolbox. I could have handled it myself. But Tina insisted we should let a professional handle it since he already knew what he was doing. Okay, sure. I didn't argue. The third time? Oh, he's just stopping by real quick to check on the pressure thing he fixed. Pressure thing? What pressure thing? It was a leaky pipe, not a nuclear reactor. But again, I let it go. I was too trusting. I wanted to believe my wife wasn't out here playing plumber pipes double entendre behind my back. Then came the day I came home early. It was a Friday. I wasn't supposed to be home until 6, but my last 2 meetings got cancelled and I figured I'd surprise Tina. I even grabbed her favorite iced coffee on the way. I still had this stupid grin on my face when I walked through the door. And then I heard it. Not the kind of noises you want to hear coming from your bedroom when you're carrying 2 lattes and love in your heart. The kind of noises that make your brain short-circuit because your heart doesn't want to catch up. I froze. Thought maybe I was mishearing. Then I heard it again, a man's voice. In our bedroom. I dropped the coffees. I didn't even knock. I flung the door open so hard I think it shook the walls. And there she was. Half-dressed. And him. Shirtless. Tattoos. Tool belt on the floor like this was some low-budget adult film from 2007. The plumber. The guy just looked at me and said, dead serious. Oh, I thought you were at work? Tina screamed. Not in fear. Not in guilt. Just shock. Like a teenager caught sneaking out. Like I was the one intruding. I didn't say anything. I just stood there. Mouth open. Heart pounding. And that's when I knew. My marriage wasn't just leaking. It was completely flooded. So, there I am, standing in the doorway of my own damn bedroom, watching my wife scramble to grab a robe while the plumber picks up his shirt like this is just another Wednesday. My brain was trying to reboot, but my mouth beat it to the punch. Are you serious right now? Are you kidding me, Tina? Her face was beet red. Not from shame, from being caught. It's not what it looks like. Yes. She actually said those words. I blinked. Really? Because it looks exactly like you're sleeping with the plumber in our bed while I'm buying you iced coffee. Then she flipped a switch like full whiplash. She went from embarrassed to offended. I was lonely, okay? You've been distant for months. You're always working, always distracted. I needed to feel wanted. The plumber, still standing there awkwardly with his tool belt, muttered, I can go if you guys need to talk. Like bro, yes, maybe bounce? This isn't a customer service call, you're literally naked in a married man's house. She kept going, not even looking at me now. It just happened, okay? He listened to me. He asked me about my day. He complimented my hair. He complimented your hair? I felt like I was in a bad sitcom written by someone who's never been in a real relationship. I asked her how long it had been going on. She said, only twice. The plumber? He made a face. Like she just undersold the hell out of the truth. I turned to him, only twice? He looked away and said, look man, I didn't know she was married at first, and then. Tina, did you lie to him too? She burst into tears and sat on the bed, which made me nauseous because, well, obviously. I didn't think it would go this far, she sobbed. I just liked the attention. It was like listening to someone admit to crashing your car because they liked how the steering wheel felt. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just stood there in complete disbelief. And in that exact moment, I realized something. It wasn't that she made a mistake. It was that she never once stopped herself. After the plumber scrambled out like his wrench was on fire, I just stood there. Everything felt surreal. You ever have one of those moments where your body's present but your mind is floating 10 feet above you, just watching like, damn bro, it's really happening? That was me. Tina sat on the edge of the bed, crying into her hands, but I couldn't even process her tears. I was too busy staring at the wrinkle in the comforter, thinking that was where they were just doing it. Right there. Where we used to fall asleep watching Netflix. Where we dreamed about raising kids. Where I kissed her forehead goodnight just 2 days ago. Now it was just stained. Figuratively and literally. I didn't even cry at first. I just felt this crushing hollowness in my chest. Like the bottom dropped out of my stomach and all that was left was static. Anger came later, but right then? It was sadness. Just raw, ugly sadness. I started replaying every I love you she said over the past month, wondering how many of those were real and how many were just smokescreens. I thought about how excited she seemed about starting a family, and now I couldn't help but wonder, was that just a role she was playing? Then came the guilt. Was it my fault? Was I too distracted with work? Did I miss the signs? Was I not enough? But here's the thing, I did my best. I showed up. I was loyal. I built a life with her in mind every step of the way. And somehow, a guy with a van full of PVC pipes and cheap cologne got a version of her that she never gave to me. And the worst part? I was the last to know. There's something soul-crushing about realizing everyone else in the room knew the script except you. You were the only one reading the wrong lines in a scene that ended days ago. After he left and she finally stopped crying long enough to breathe properly, we sat in silence. You could hear the damn refrigerator hum. It was one of those silences that felt like it weighed 500 pounds. I didn't know what to do. Leave? Yell? Burn the mattress? She broke the silence first. "We can fix this," she whispered. "Fix this?" Like it was a cracked phone screen or a leaky faucet. She said it like we just needed a couple's retreat and some fresh sheets. "I still love you," she added. It was stupid. I was stupid. I didn't mean to hurt you. And again, all I could think was, you didn't mean to hurt me, but you kept doing it. Repeatedly. She started spiraling into excuses. Said she felt invisible lately. That she thought I wasn't attracted to her anymore because I didn't flirt with her like I used to. That when the plumber complimented her smile and listened, she just fell into it. I told her she should have talked to me, not spread her legs for a guy with a drain snake. Harsh? Maybe. But I wasn't going to sugarcoat what she did just because she suddenly felt remorse. But here's the weird part. And I hate admitting this now, but back then? I actually considered trying to fix it. Yeah. Even after everything, part of me thought, maybe therapy could help. Maybe it was just a breakdown. Maybe this doesn't have to be the end. Why? Because I didn't want to believe that the person I built my life with was actually capable of treating it like it meant nothing. I didn't want to accept that this was who she was now. So yeah, I spent that weekend sleeping on the couch and convincing myself there was still something to salvage. I was wrong. So after that long, awkward, soul-wrecking weekend on the couch, I told Tina we needed to talk for real. No crying. No dodging. No I don't knows. Just the truth. We sat at the dining table, same one we ate takeout on, celebrated birthdays at, had dumb arguments over who was supposed to do dishes. It felt like a stranger's house now. I asked her one question. How long has this been going on? She hesitated. You could see the wheels spinning. She was calculating the least damaging lie. A couple of weeks, she said. 3. Maybe 4. But I'd done some checking of my own since Friday. Remember that second visit? The one she said was for a follow-up check? I found the invoice. Dated 6 weeks before. The plumber hadn't been there once or twice. He'd been to our house 5 times in the past 2 months. And then it hit me. I remembered a neighbor, Mrs. Callahan, bless her nosy soul, once casually mentioned seeing a white van out front a lot while I was at work. I thought nothing of it at the time. Just figured it was random maintenance. Nope. I showed Tina the receipts. I asked again. She broke. It started the day he fixed the sink, she whispered. He was funny, he was flirty, and I don't know. It made me feel young again. Young again? What, was she 87 in disguise? Then she added the nail in the coffin. And it wasn't just twice. I lied. It was a few times. Few. Few? What even is a few when we're talking about cheating? It's not a handful of fries, Tina. It's betrayal. And the kicker? She said he never asked if she was married. Which was a lie. Because in one of the invoices he left, my name was literally at the top, Mr. and Mrs. last name. So, yeah. Not only did she cheat, she built an entire sandbox of lies around it. She wasn't just gullible. She was willing. And creative. And apparently, she thought I was stupid enough to keep falling for the sanitized version of the story. After that last round of lies, revised truths, I hit a wall. I realized I wasn't having a conversation with the woman I married anymore. I was negotiating with someone who saw honesty as optional, who thought trust could be reset like a Wi-Fi router. So I said the words I'd been avoiding. I don't think I can do this anymore. Her face dropped. You're going to throw everything away, she asked, like I was the one who called in a plumber and played adult house while my back was turned. No, Tina. You did that. I'm just walking away from the wreckage. That night, I booked a hotel. Packed a bag, didn't say a word, and left. Just like that. No dramatic exit. No slammed doors. Just silence. It was the first time in months I actually felt peace. That week, I got a lawyer. Told close friends. Moved in with my brother for a while. Tina tried love bombing me with texts. Pictures of our old trips. I miss us. Can we talk? She even sent a photo of the two of us at our wedding, like nostalgia was going to glue the trust back together. But here's the thing. When someone shows you who they are repeatedly, eventually you have to believe them. And I believed her now. I believed she'd cheat again. I believed she'd lie again. I believed that no matter how many times I forgave, I'd never get back the version of myself I was before I saw her in that bedroom. I had been loyal. I had been present. And I had been blindsided. It was time to stop bleeding for someone who wouldn't even notice if I flatlined. About 2 weeks after I left, she showed up at my brother's place. Uninvited. I was out back, helping my nephew fix his bike, when I heard her voice at the front door. My brother called me with that should I, tone, and I just sighed and went to the porch. There she was, Tina. Wearing that same jacket I got her last Christmas, looking like she hadn't slept, holding a gift bag. You left this, she said, handing it to me. I peeked inside. It was my old hoodie, a photo album, and my favorite coffee mug, the one that says World's Okayest Husband. Oh, the irony. I didn't say anything. Just nodded. Then came the waterworks. I've ruined everything, she cried. I miss you. I miss us. I've started therapy. I know I messed up, but I still believe in us. I believe she felt bad. But guilt isn't a foundation to rebuild on. And forgiveness doesn't equal access. I told her that I didn't hate her. That I hope she did keep going to therapy, not for me, but for herself. That I hope someday, she understands why what she did wasn't just a mistake, it was a decision. A series of selfish decisions she never once stopped making. And then I gave her back the gift bag. You keep it, I said. You'll need the reminders more than I will. She stood there, stunned. I didn't slam the door. I just went back inside. Quietly. That was the last time we spoke in person. I guess that was the closure. Not a dramatic speech. Not a second chance. Just me, choosing peace over chaos. So what does life look like after your wife cheats with a plumber and lies about it for weeks? Honestly? A weird mix of freedom, sadness, and rediscovery. The first couple months were rough. Like, wake up at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling rough. I kept second-guessing myself. Wondering if I overreacted. Wondering if I should have tried harder. But every time I replayed the moment I found them in our bed, I knew I made the right call. Eventually, the quiet turned from lonely to peaceful. I started hitting the gym again, not out of revenge, but because I actually had the time and mental energy. I reconnected with old friends, some of whom had low-key suspected something was off with Tina for a while but didn't want to overstep. Turns out, when you're deep in denial, the signs are neon to everyone but you. I started picking up little hobbies too: photography, cooking, and yes, I learned how to fix a leaky faucet myself, and just being present in my own life again. One of the wildest things I realized? I had spent so long trying to make someone else happy that I forgot what I liked. What made me feel fulfilled. And once I started chasing that instead of clinging to a broken relationship, things slowly stopped hurting. No, I didn't dive into another relationship. I dated a bit, sure. But I wasn't looking for someone to fill a gap. I was learning to stand alone, fully, for the first time in years. So here we are. The end of the story, or at least the end of this chapter. Looking back, I've learned more about love, boundaries, and self-worth in the aftermath of this mess than I ever did during the relationship. Here's what I'd tell anyone going through something like this. Small blue diamond, you're not stupid for trusting someone. Love requires vulnerability. But if someone weaponizes that trust, they're the problem, not your kindness. Small blue diamond, the person who cheats always has a choice. Don't let them sell you some sad narrative about how it just happened. That's not how underwear gets removed. Small blue diamond, you can't save a relationship alone. If they're not willing to be honest, do the work, and show remorse without being caught first, you're fighting for a version of the relationship that only existed in your head. Small blue diamond, rebuilding yourself is not revenge. A better life after betrayal isn't about getting back at them, it's about getting back to you. The real you. The one who forgot how much peace felt like. Small blue diamond, closure is something you give yourself. Sometimes you don't get apologies. Sometimes the ending isn't cinematic. Sometimes it's just silence, and that's enough. I'm doing okay now. Not perfect. But stronger. Wiser. Calmer. And I sleep like a baby knowing I stood up for myself when it mattered most. So to the next person reading this, wondering if they're overreacting or if they should just forgive and forget? Ask yourself, if the roles were reversed, would they have tolerated this from you? If the answer's no, you already know what to do.